Welcome back. In today's video, we're going to be exploring, did the internet computer rug pull us yet again? As we are now in the second half of 2025 and we have seen the rollout or double rollout of Caffeine AI, the large language model rolled out by the Dfinity Foundation, which is the developer behind the internet computer, back in June and then again in July, where they showed us Caffeine AI, which is basically a large language model that can code dApps, programs, websites, and the like, and then not only deploy it on the internet computer on chain, but also host it on chain as well. And this was the groundbreaking, revolutionary product that everybody was anticipating. There were a lot of eyes on. We know the banks were watching. We know heavy venture capitalists and angel investors were watching, and really the entire crypto ecosystem. But now we are entering the second half of 2025, and the internet computer, from a price perspective, has not performed, has not been performing. And I don't know, if you look at from the launch, the Genesis token event right here, it has come down from $700 down to a low of $2.93 in 2023, jumped up, and we are back down in the $4 and $5 range. Much lower market cap than many other cryptos in the space. But meanwhile, you would imagine with artificial intelligence and the like, that internet computer would be much higher, valued much higher from a buying perspective, much larger from a venture capital investment perspective. But this is not what we're seeing. And so did internet computer rug pull us? That's what we're going to be discussing in today's video. Don't forget to give this video a free thumbs up. These are just my opinions and analysis at the time that I'm making this video. So make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel. Give this video an absolutely free thumbs up. And if you are an internet computer fan, make sure you check out our other videos on the internet computer. We do a lot of deep dives into the individual stats of the chain, new projects that are launching, price analysis, and more. So make sure you guys check those out, hit the subscribe button, and consider becoming a channel member by clicking the join or subscribe plus button down below. But let's get into the rug pull of 2025. Now, by the way, I'm just joking about the rug pull of 2025. I don't necessarily believe that the internet computer is rug pulling us, right? It doesn't even have artificial intelligence on chain yet, so it doesn't have a brain to compute how to rug pull us. But the question then is, did the ecosystem of internet computer, Dfinity, the developers, Caffeine AI, did they rug pull us by promising us so much, and we're not seeing the execution of that? Now, let's be clear. The developers within the internet computer ecosystem, I think, are, top notch, to be honest. I mean, I do think that the capabilities of the internet computer, as we've covered, are well beyond what we've seen on any other chain. We are now seeing the transaction throughput continuing to stay in line with Solana. And as I covered previously, internet computer reached the fastest throughput blockchain on the planet, surpassing Solana earlier in the year. Now, these were stress tests as Dfinity was preparing the network for the rollout of Caffeine AI. But now that Caffeine AI is rolled out, we kind of came back down, but this is still higher than where we were before Caffeine AI stress test of the internet computer network that you can see right here. This happened in April, May, and June of 2025. Then we had the rollout, some more testing, but significantly less transaction throughput. But my question is this the new baseline? And if this is the new baseline, this puts internet computer in line with Solana. But I want to see internet computer stay above Solana, faster than Solana, the number one blockchain in the world in terms of speed and throughput. But by the way, the internet computer ecosystem itself didn't even promote this, and is still, when I'm recording this video, is still not promoting that it is the fastest blockchain on the planet. And so if the internet computer ecosystem can't market this very simple, clearly number one spot place that internet computers in, are we being rug pulled? Why would the ecosystem, the developers, the marketing agencies, the companies, the stakeholders, why would they not be promoting this all over the place? And so as an investor, this is a question that I have to ask. Because to me, being the fastest blockchain, having stress tests where you're doing triple or quadruple the speed of Solana, this is huge, especially when the rest of blockchain, they're not even in triple digit transactions per second. They're in double digit or single digit transactions per second, decade after many of these other cryptocurrencies launched. And so why is the internet computer ecosystem not proud of these metrics, not marketing these metrics to the masses and letting people who are developing on these other ecosystems that need high throughput, fast blockchains? Why would they not want to know that internet computer is the fastest? I do see some metric sites talking about this and highlighting internet computer speed, but the internet computer ecosystem isn't even doing this. And this is a huge concern as an investor in the ecosystem. Very big. This is a very big thing. Because if they can't even promote, let's put it this way, right? I've given feedback to you guys as my viewers that caffeine is the worst marketing for what they are doing. They need to call it caffeine AI because, before the caffeine AI launch events, they were putting advertisements on billboards and stuff like that on social media, and it would just say caffeine. And when I think of caffeine, I think of my coffee or my iced coffee. I don't think about an AI large language model that is running on the fastest blockchain on the planet. And so now we're about a month after definitely the first initial launch of caffeine and definitely very close to a month after the second launch of caffeine in July. And nobody outside the internet computer ecosystem is even talking about it anymore. And I can't tell why. Maybe it's because caffeine AI is not on, like the large language model is not on and hosted on the internet computer. It's an off-chain application. Maybe it's because the other ecosystems looked at caffeine AI and said this is just another large language model, because there are other large language models that can code different things. I would imagine caffeine AI is specific for the internet computer and the coding environment there, but there are other large language models that can do the same thing. Or is it because the general ecosystem outside of internet computer is just not aware of this because of poor marketing? I don't know the answers, but the network activity is stable after the testing. The price activity is stable after the testing. And when you can actually see here on the price chart is that there was, we did go from $2.93 from September of 2023 into the beginning of 2024. But then if you look at the 1 year chart here, we have essentially been sideways trading and downward trading all year, all of 2025. And we had little spikes here and there as we were approaching the AI launches. You can see here in May. And these are so minimal that I have to literally zoom in for you guys to even see that there was a little bit of a jump in the price. From May until June, we went from about $4, it looks like $4.40, all the way up to $6.30. So it's like a 50% increase, and then came right back down. Then they did another caffeine launch, did the same thing, $4.30 to $6.20. But what do you notice? Lower highs and lower lows. And so we had two caffeine events. I don't even know why they did two, but we had two, a run up into the event and then a sell off after. This is really not good, because internet computer, the whole thesis, this cycle has been artificial intelligence, compute, ability to process high, loads of data on the ecosystem. Hence, the front page of Internet Computer talks about becoming the world computer. Now, I'm not saying that the internet computer doesn't have the capabilities for this, but there is a disconnect, and I don't know what the disconnect is. I don't know whether it's Dfinity's fault, the community's fault, the developer's fault, it's just an environment of crypto that we're in this cycle where the focus has been on Bitcoin and Bitcoin treasury companies and the ETFs, and a little bit of Ethereum and maybe some of the other altcoins that have been billionaire supported, like Solana, Hyperliquid, SWI. But we know that people are interested in the technology of internet computer. And so going back to the original question, were we rug pulled? I don't know that rug pull is the right word or term, because I don't think that, rug pull is an intentional act to basically steal your money, right? I don't believe that Dfinity is doing that. I don't believe internet computer is doing that. But there's definitely a disconnect. And the ecosystem is being held back, and that in itself could be a rug pull on itself, right? Because why is this not connecting? Why do we have 2 caffeine AI launch events and nobody outside of internet computer is even talking about this? And by the way, there's a lot of demos that are being developed and being launched on internet computer. This person went to the Caffeine AI event, and I think she was a winner. She created a program called Dental Tracks, and basically she was able to, well, I'll let you guys listen to what she says about what she created utilizing Caffeine AI, because this is revolutionary stuff. This is really amazing stuff. To think that, if you're a dentist or a medical professional, you previously would have to go through and pay probably hundreds of thousands of dollars or tens of thousands of dollars for software to be able to do all of this. And now you can do it effectively on your own. Now, we do have to think about, the data privacy and the security of the network and the individual information that these companies do put in. But again, this is very, very early stages. And this is where other companies are going to want to come in and use this instead of hiring, thousands of engineers. They can hire just a few that can prompt and code utilizing AI. Let's listen to what she said for what she built utilizing Caffeine AI and the self-writing internet on the internet computer.
Dental Tracks is a personal website that is encrypted with your own dental records. My hope is that it empowers people to have record of all your x-rays, all your procedures, so you can take accountability on your own mouth, and makes it easier for comprehensive care in the future for all your other providers.
And again, this is one example of what can be created utilizing the internet computer. And you can see some of the images from the actual demo. And so this is real technology with real capabilities and will solve real problems, right? But from an investor perspective, we have to understand, again, why the price is not moving. And is the price going to move, or are we in an ever downtrending cycle? Because, any chartist who looked at this chart from 2023 into 2024 would say that that was the bull market, that we are now in the bear market or in the downtrending time period. After the bull market, you can see peak over here at $20 back in March of 2024, lower high, lower high, lower low, lower low, lower low. And so that is a downtrending market. And this may just be a macro situation where the entire market, especially most of the altcoin market, has not moved in the 2024 and 2025 cycle. We've seen some altcoins move, some altcoins have maintained their upside moves, but most haven't. Where if they did move to the upside, you saw a complete reversal like you see here with internet computer. But I'm at the point where I don't think that internet computer is a bad investment, but I don't know that it is a good investment at this time. I don't know. I don't know whether, because I do think that the downside risk is much lower than the upside risk, meaning I think that we're likely to go higher more than we'll go lower. So we can go down, let's say maybe to $1, but the upside reward is much higher, because down to $1, that would be from where we are, $5 to $1, that's an 80% drop. But we could also take a 400% increase especially if the AI narrative picks up in the general mainstream markets, because that's where I think that the crypto AI projects will pick up more of the narrative in the cycle. And I don't think that they have. I mean, look at Fetch AI or Artificial Superintelligence Coin, look at Beam, look at Pal AI. None of these have really performed, or let me rephrase that. They've performed pretty much the same way Internet Computer has performed on the same timeline. There hasn't been much movement since 2024. So there's one part of me that's like the cycle is over, and this is part of the reason. Part of me is also thinking, well, the teams that are working within Internet Computer need to do a better job of self-promotion because they're not doing it, right? Almost none of the projects on Internet Computer are self-promoting besides Caffeine AI. And I think that that is a huge issue as well. Because if people don't know what they can build on Internet Computer, they're not even going to explore it. And if they don't understand how Internet Computer is already interoperating with many of the other blockchains and has its own DeFi type ecosystem that may not be metriced on websites like DeFi Llama, these things could be huge. But they could also be holding Internet Computer back. And in a world, in a market where you have such a niche product like Internet Computer amongst literally millions of other coins and millions of other projects that are promising to change the world and promising new technologies and new capabilities, it's very hard to stay ahead and stay on top. And so we're at this critical point on Internet Computer where we're seeing all this growth. We're seeing clear signs that there's interest from very big players on the global stage. But it may not be investable. But on the other hand, everything just may be leading up to a major AI breakthrough globally, or even in the United States, from an OpenAI perspective or an XAI perspective, or a combination of multiple big AI companies launching a product or monetizing a product or implementing back-end integrations of products and testing new things. And really it comes to the capital inflow. And I don't think that the AI is getting it from an infrastructure perspective, but I don't know that they're getting it from a deployment perspective, right? We see little implementations of ChatGPT or Grok here and there, but we're not really seeing more higher level backend integrations. And that's where they're really trying to figure out how they can make money on ChatGPT or XAI and stuff like that. Because you have to understand, it costs a lot of money to run these AI networks. And so that may be the hurdle for Internet Computer. But from an investability standpoint, can I wait? Do I want to wait? Is there another investment that's going to perform better? And that really goes back to the beginning of this video, right? And the beginning of the video, we said, like, are we getting rug pulled by the Internet Computer? And you could say the same thing if you were invested in OpenAI, right? For instance, Elon Musk, he was an early investor in OpenAI. And him and Sam Altman are biggest enemies now because Sam Altman wants to monetize and make the company a public company. And Elon believes that it should be nonprofit and not money driven, because he thinks that, especially in the AI world, that can lead to bad things. And so Elon could look at it and say, I got rug pulled. But you could also look at it and just say the ecosystem and the company evolved from its original goal or vision. And so I think that Internet Computer is something so different here in crypto because it's not a typical blockchain. It doesn't metric itself on the same metrics as other blockchains for the most part. And maybe this is part of the reason they're not promoting their transaction throughput capabilities, because they don't want the NFT ecosystem and the meme coin ecosystem from Solana coming onto Internet Computer to spam the network with their trash because it has a fast network and a fairly cheap network to access compared to Solana, I would imagine. And so that may be part of the reason. And the reason that I'm so bullish overall on internet computer is because this is ground level breakthrough technology, AI, right? There's very few projects that are doing anything with it. And even if you look at artificial superintelligence, the Fetch AI, Ocean Protocol, and Singularity Net merged in 2024 to create artificial superintelligence coin. And that network, 3 projects putting their minds and smarts together, haven't created a damn thing yet. So I don't think it's internet computer, and I don't think internet computer is rug pulling us. Now, there is definitely an argument that internet computer from an investability perspective is terrible. And I would probably agree over the last year based on the data that we're looking at here. I mean, the price has just come down ever since the pump to $20. And really, if you look at it on a macro scale, the price has been coming down ever since it launched. But because internet computer is in this very specific niche category, which is growing, AI is growing all across the board, but in crypto and blockchain, it's not. And I think it's just because it's a huge endeavor to break through this new capabilities and technology and master it, right? There's a million chains that can do the same thing that Ethereum can do, same thing that Cardano can do, same thing that Avalanche can do. So like, what makes the next one better than the first one? Really nothing besides the marketing. But in the AI field, in the AI world, right now, internet computer is the only one running AI. Even if it's off-chain, right? The code is hosted on-chain. The compute for the logic is hosted on-chain, from my understanding. And they're planning to get the large language model on-chain in the future. No other blockchain is doing this. No other blockchain is setting up to become the world's computer, where you can store data, you can run your company's programs on this decentralized network. No other ecosystem is doing this. And so when I look at my investment, this is a moonshot investment. This can go up by hundreds of percents, maybe thousands of percents, or it can go to zero. But really, I'm investing in the technology and in the potential future of this ecosystem. But at the end of the day, I am an investor. And so I need to make a decision for my portfolio. Do I want to be fully in internet computer if we are rotating into a bear market, generally speaking, outside of internet computer, just crypto in general? If we are going into a corrective period in the market, which I believe, generally speaking, we are in the second half of 2025. And so in that sense, there may be a play here where some of the portfolio is going to be liquidated. I don't know that I'm going to do that. As you guys know, I do hold ICP, very small portion of my portfolio. It has been a very small portion of my portfolio, but I don't know that I want to stay fully in that position. It's small enough that I could and ride out, even if we are in a bear market. But part of me thinks that it may be time to start offloading. I don't know. I haven't made the decision just yet. That's why I'm making this video, because I don't think that we're getting rug pulled. I think that internet computer is just in this macro AI market entry, and the market doesn't know how to price these things yet. There's really no AI companies that are public. There's really no AI companies that are making money. And so internet computer is in that category. And so how can the market actually price internet computer effectively? And so internet computer may go lower from a price perspective, not because of anything internet computer has done or didn't do, just because of the category that it's in. The market doesn't know how to price it. It can't price it because there's nothing to compare it to in the markets. There's no other cryptos really, and there's no real stock companies either. Once there are, then it's going to be a whole different story. But I don't know whether we're going to get there in the next month, year, or decade, because it could take a lot longer than we think. And so do I hold the ICP coins? Do I offload it? Or do I just sell some or buy more? What do I do? You guys let me know down below in the comments. Let me know what you're doing with your internet computer coins. And just keep in mind, I am still bullish on the technology and bullish on the ecosystem. Titles are to get you to click in, and you clicked in. So make sure you guys click that thumbs up button. As a thank you on your way out, I'll see you guys on the next video. Invest responsibly, do your own research, and crypto on.